first came out, that was definitely like a full circle moment. I made that sample back in like 2021, I think, late 2021. To see it come to life the way it did was full circle. You know, I didn't even expect Gunna to use that, but then when I like thought about it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely something Gunna would use. I go by the name Sim, and I'm gonna show you guys how I made Back to the Moon by Gunna.
If you don't go with me, don't do what I do. Think you the one, but he really the two. Better get low when I hear that you're cool. I'm sending the cleaners through.
Like, I've always kind of been around music in the weirdest ways too. You know, it's never been like I wanted to make beats from the jump, but like I bought a guitar, but I never even learned how to play it. Until high school, I decided to take that music class. That was when I first really found FL Studio and how to make beats and stuff like that. So the first thing I started with was I used the ample guitar. And the MIDI's kind of complex, but like that's what, you know, just the sound selection of the guitar was what kind of like caught my ear right away. So sound selection is like, that's the most important piece in my opinion. It's like you could have a really good melody, but if your sound selection is off, it's like it won't hit as much as if you really take your time. I won't know what I'm looking for, but I'll just continue to shift through sounds and find things and manipulate little by little, and the next thing you know, it's exactly what I needed the whole time. You know, I never really have something in my head beforehand. I layered the guitar with like a piano, and I took out some of the notes from the guitar, and it's all about kind of just layering, but then knowing when you're doing too much and being able to take out like certain things. So this is the simple piano. I really take pride in how much time I take with the samples because I know how valuable they can be with that. And that's something I feel like is like a lost art, is really being able to kind of sit back and not really worry about how long it's taking you to make something. You just kind of focus on the value of what you're creating. And so once I kind of have my foundation, that's when I could kind of get creative and think of counter melodies and just doing things in a different way. And that's when the dancing piano, I called it, came in. This piano is kind of panning left to right, left to right, left to right. That's why you can hear it so well even in the song. You know, it's because I kind of like left enough room for the piano to just work by itself. And the MIDI of the dancing piano, it's like, it's not very humanized. You know, you can tell I played this out just by the pattern. And I feel like that's also very important when it comes to just making things sound a lot more humanized and not so robotic, not so, you know, on grid. Man, Back to the Moon it's a crazy story because, you know, I went out to LA for like just a couple months. I plan to stay there like this whole entire year of 2023, but, you know, I had a bad car accident, so that kind of like got shifted up. But when I was out there, my boy Kenny Stunton, who did the drums on Back to the Moon, we just kind of locked in out there, and I think it was the first night that we linked up. We made a couple of vibes, and, you know, Back to the Moon was one of them. And I found some vocals, and again, accents, vocal chops, all that is always going to be a good addition to production. So. Another little chop that I added was the guitar. So now, you know, I like to just mute certain things. Even when I'm making the sample, you know, it just kind of helps my workflow. So even just the vocal, the guitars, and the simple piano playing together. Lastly, just a little bass, you know, like you never need too much. Like when I break things down, it's kind of crazy how simple they can be. Of course, the MIDI can be a little bit complex, but once you kind of piece it together, it's not really too much going on, you know?